Welcome back to the Ninja 500R project. This is going to be part 9. This is a huge playlist series. We don't actually know how many parts there's going to be, but the playlist for start to finish of reviving this 10-year-old bike or sitting in storage for 10 years is going to be an entire playlist available to you guys. Please, please, please do not forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I have millions of views on this channel and only thousands of subscribers, which makes literally no sense to me because all I do is create DIY content to help everyone across the planet, and there seems to be a severe lack of gratitude for me showing knowledge and how to do things. Because if you know anything about going to a shop, take your bike to a shop. Number one, it's hard to find a shop even willing to work on a bike that's older than 10 years old, and if you do find one, it's $120 to $190 an hour for them to do work. That's not including parts. I'm showing you how to do all of this for free, one-on-one, you and me, through the entire thing. All I ask is that you scratch my back. You can join my membership program, you subscribe, like, hype the video if you want to take it a step further. I even accept motorcycle donations. If you've got one sitting on your property and you're semi-close to the Tampa, Florida area, or you just want to drop a bike off that has a clean title and you know you're willing to just separate from it and help me create content for the channel, hey, let me know. I have not turned down projects normally. I mean, within reason. Again, we have to keep bikes moving in and out of here, but if it's in reasonable shape and you just don't want to deal with it, and you know you're not mechanically inclined, you have no interest, hey, hit me up. My email address and everything you need is in the description below. All right, so enjoy my intro. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a tank bumper today, because as you can see, just like most of these 500s, they either have one or both of them are missing. But to do this, you need to have at least one. And I'm going to show you exactly how to manufacture your own tank bumper to perfection in 20 minutes. Simple. I'll see you guys after my intro. Welcome back there, guys. So we got this bumper, we got this tank guide. It's a bumper or a tank guide. It also keeps the vibrations down. A lot of these Ninja 500Rs are missing both of them or one. A lot of times it's just one and you have the other, but as long as you have one, this will simplify your life. I'm going to show you how to construct your own really simply. There's 2 ways to do it. I've done this many times. Matter of fact, my personal Ninja 500R over here, the Bari Bari Densetsu replica Ninja 500R, this one has a manufactured one that I did on my channel and showed people how to do it. But again, I didn't make a complete video just separately in regards to this, so that's what we're going to do today. So what you're going to need, a little bit of engine oil. I put some engine oil on the top of this cap right here. So we're going to need some engine oil. You have 2 choices, hot glue, which as you can see I've already been heating up the gun, okay, or epoxy. 2-part epoxy, clear, resin, black, whatever you want to do, makes no difference to me. I would say this method takes a lot longer, and to be honest with you, I think that the glue gun style is the best way to do this, but what do I know, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take this engine oil and you're going to rub it all over this thing, right in the center. Get a good square of this stuff going. Cover as much as you can, because we're going to make a mold of the one that we currently have left. And what the oil will do is help separate the glue from the aluminum foil once this has been applied. So I'll show you that in a second. We'll just get a nice big coating of it on there. And once we've got a good coating, I don't know how much of this aluminum foil we're actually going to end up using, but it'll probably be a fair amount of the foil once we start pushing down. Okay. Then you're going to take the engine oil and you're going to wipe it on this bit right here, okay? But what we're looking for is, doesn't matter which way you do it, I would say it's probably better to do it this way, because if you have to stick the socket on there to pry it out of the glue when we're done, you want to be able to do that. So I'm just going to cover this, a little bit of engine oil all around it. This will make it so that it doesn't stick to the glue, and it'll pop out nice, freely, and easily. And I'm just going to set that down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and the reason that I have this is because if you notice, this mini socket, 10mm mini socket, fits perfectly in there. So we have a hole for our creation, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's take this guy right here, right? And we're going to put this dead center right in the middle, okay? Then we're going to flip this over like so while that's in the middle, and we're going to form the aluminum foil around it like a mold. And you're going to press it down all the way. Press, press, press. Get it nice and tight. We don't care about all the extra stuff. We just want a nice, tight molding. That way it's the identical size of what it should be. It's really, really simplified. As you can see, we're going to crush the rest down, so this is super easy to work with. We don't have anything extra sticking out. Okay, so now that you've got a really good seal all the way around this, I'm just going to take my finger and run it all along here. Make sure we've got this sealed properly. And now what we're going to do is pick this up, and we're going to get this guy out of there carefully. We're going to stick this in there. And we're just going to slowly wedge it back and forth. Okie doke. So now that that's done, guess what? We're going to put a small layer of glue in there first. And the reason why is because we need to create a space. So as you can see, there's not much play in between here and here. There's about that much. So we're going to create, in the bottom of this, we're going to create a flooring of glue about that thick. Try to lay it and spread it as evenly as you can. Once you've got that spread out, I'm going to see if we can level this a bit more. There we go. Make sure that whole corner is filled up over there. There we go, good. Okay, we're going to let that dry for a second. Just before it completely dries, we're going to set this on top so this stays right where it's at. So I'm going to blow on it lightly. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to rub a little bit more oil on this because we stuck it inside of there. Just going to keep a good coating of oil. Okay guys, we're going to take this and put this dead center right in the middle, like that. Okay, so once we've got that dead in the middle, we've got our tank guide now. Right in the center. So guess what? Guess what time it is? It's time to grab another couple hot glue guns, sticks, because this is going to take quite a few. But guess what time it is? We want to make sure that it's completely as straight as we can keep it. Beautiful. All right, we're going to lay this down slowly. One side, then the other side. One side, then the other side. So it takes a fair number of glue sticks to get through that, but, well, you get the idea. Alright, still pretty warm, so I don't want to do too much to it yet. We're going to let that sit for a sec. I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, there you go. Pull it apart. See how much comes out. It was kind of a sloppy job I did all together, but that's only because my glue was being stupid. My other one came out way better than this. But again, all we needed to do was create a guide for this to be able to use. So that's it. Simple, simple. Oh, too much of the glue has penetrated the aluminum. Not that I care. It's gonna get painted anyways, but all right. So let's chop off some of this little extra stuff. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's using a glue stick. It's pretty easy to manufacture one of these really quickly. Cut off the extra stuff here. Little edges and corners and a little silliness. There we go. Like I said, I'm not really worried about the aluminum foil sticking to it. Really doesn't make a difference. Get off what I can, and then my laziness will take over for caring. Alright, anyways, yeah, I don't care if it sticks. Doesn't make a difference. It's not going to cut down or make vibrations any worse. So, alright, got this guy here. We just need it to do a job, right, folks? And we're going to break this free. Grab a good hold of it. Just give a twist. Twist the other way. There we go. And we'll twist this way. Obviously, you want one of these with a lock on it. Just keep twisting and slowly pulling out. And boom. Look at that. You got a tank guide. So now we can shave it down a little bit if we want to. Cut all the extra stuff off. Just going to take it slowly around the edges here. Take this utility knife and just slowly carve it. Be careful, folks. Watch your hands. Alright, we can take a little more off the bottom here. It's still a little too tall. There we go. Should be pretty close now. Yeah, okay. There it is. Beautiful. Alright, now, next bit of fun. Now that the bumper's made, you got two bumpers. Just to show you that this works before I paint it, because that's what I'm going to do next, paint it. There you go. One on one side. Boop. One on the other. Boop. Ta-da! Super simple. You don't have to paint it if you don't want to. But I found that 10mm was a very good hold. And there's not enough engine heat to actually melt the glue. Because I've had mine on there for over 4,000 miles and it hasn't done anything to it. It's still in perfect shape. So I just made it the exact same way I made the other one. So now we're going to set this guy down here. Give it a quick blasty blast. Not that we have to. You don't have to. But you can. I'm going to. That way it at least color matches. And we'll give that a second to dry. Then we'll flip it over and do the opposite side. And then we'll install it. Yeet! Pretty easy, huh? That's it. That's literally it, guys. From here, you just paint it, slap it back on, and then you're done. So, really simple to do. Not much to it. I hope that helps you guys. Feel free to smash the like button, subscribe, show me some love. Stay tuned for part 10, because this was 9. Part 10, I believe, is going to be putting the tank back on for the first time. And hopefully we'll find out exactly if the tank is in good shape or not. Now, I drained it. No rust came out. Nothing. The petcock seems to be working, and that's because they put stabilizer in it. So we may have saved ourselves right there. Hopefully that does exactly what it should have done. Now, if that petcock on there does not work, in that bag is a brand new petcock, which I will install on there in a heartbeat to solve our problems and keep moving forward. I had anticipated all of this. So, and then we have a battery coming for this. That'll be the final part of it. And then after that, it's just aesthetics, oil change, because we put all new fluid and coolant in there. The carbs got all tuned, new everything. I mean, it's a happy bike. So, new brake, master cylinder. Hey, there's an entire playlist. You guys want to follow along? You know what to do. And I'll catch you guys part 10. Toodles.